Last night, while you were sleeping, you had between 4 and 6 separate dreams. Most of them were vivid, some were strange, some felt more real than reality itself. And you remember almost none of them. But here's the strange part. Occasionally, just sometimes, one dream sticks. It lingers for hours, days, sometimes years. You can still feel what it felt like. The faces, the fear, the beauty. But why that dream? Why not the others? The answer isn't random. Your brain is making a choice, a very deliberate, very calculated choice about which memories of your dreams to keep. And once you understand how it makes that choice, you'll never think about sleep the same way again. Let's start with the most important thing most people get wrong. You dream every single night. Every night. Without exception. People who say, I don't dream, they dream. They just don't remember. There is a difference between dreaming and remembering a dream. And understanding that difference is everything. The average person has 4 to 6 distinct dream sequences per night. Most of them happen during a stage of sleep called REM, rapid eye movement sleep. REM sleep is bizarre. Your eyes are literally flickering back and forth under your eyelids. Your body is paralyzed, a protective mechanism, so you don't act out your dreams. And your brain? Your brain is almost as active as when you're fully awake. So if your brain is almost awake and generating all this vivid mental content, why can't you remember it? The answer comes down to one chemical, one single molecule, and it goes missing every time you sleep. During the day, your brain is flooded with a chemical called norepinephrine. It's the molecule of alertness, focus, and memory formation. When something important happens, norepinephrine spikes, and your brain locks the memory in. It's essentially your brain's way of saying, this matters, save it. But during REM sleep, the stage when you're dreaming most vividly, norepinephrine almost completely shuts off. The levels drop to nearly zero. And without norepinephrine, your brain has almost no ability to transfer short-term dream experiences into long-term memory. So the dream happens, the story unfolds, but the brain has no pen to write it down. Think of it this way. Imagine watching the most incredible movie of your life. But every few minutes, someone erases what just happened. By the end, you know you felt something powerful, but you can't remember a single scene. That's what your dreaming brain does every single night. The experience exists. The memory doesn't. So how do some dreams survive? Why does that one dream from 3 years ago still feel completely real in your memory? This is where it gets truly fascinating. Deep inside your brain sits a small, almond-shaped structure called the amygdala. It is your brain's emotional alarm system. Fear, excitement, love, grief. The amygdala tags all of it. And crucially, it has an override switch. When a dream carries strong emotional content, when it triggers real fear, real joy, real grief inside your sleeping brain, the amygdala fires. And that firing is powerful enough to break through the norepinephrine blackout. Emotional dreams essentially get a VIP pass into your memory that neutral dreams never get. This is exactly why nightmares are so unforgettable. Your amygdala treats the threat as real. It floods your sleeping brain with the same distress signals it would produce if the danger were happening right now. And those distress signals are enough to encode the dream into lasting memory. The dream that chases you. The dream where you fall. The dream where someone you love is gone. Those stick because your brain believed them. On the other side, a dream where you're doing something completely neutral, filling out a form, walking down a corridor, waiting for a bus. No amygdala response, no emotional spike. And so the brain lets it dissolve, gone before you even open your eyes. Here is a fact that will change how you set your alarm. The single biggest factor in whether you remember a dream is not what the dream was about. It's when you wake up relative to when the dream was happening. A study from the Lyon Neuroscience Research Center found something striking. When people were woken up during REM sleep, the dreaming stage, 78% of them reported clear, vivid dream recall. When people were woken during deep NREM sleep, only 14% remembered anything at all. And here's the part that matters for your morning. REM sleep cycles get longer as the night goes on. Your final REM cycle, just before you naturally wake up, is the longest one of the night. This is when your most vivid, most complex, most narrative dreams occur. Which means if you wake up naturally at the end of your sleep cycle, you're most likely to remember. But if a sharp alarm rips you out of deep sleep before that final REM cycle completes, the dream vanishes instantly, like smoke. Alarm clocks are, in a very real neurological sense, dream killers. You may have noticed that some people seem to remember dreams every morning, and others maybe you almost never do. This isn't imagination. The difference is real, and it's neurological. A 2025 study from the IME School for Advanced Studies in Italy, which tracked over 200 people for 15 days, found something remarkable. People who frequently recall dreams tend to experience more micro-awakenings during the night. Not full wake-ups, tiny, brief moments where the brain rises just slightly above the sleep surface. These micro-awakenings act like save points in a video game. The brain surfaces, briefly tags the dream content, and then sinks back down. Low recallers sleep more deeply and continuously, which sounds like a good thing, but it actually means fewer opportunities for the brain to tag and save dream content. The deep sleeper wakes up refreshed, but blank. The lighter sleeper wakes up tired sometimes, but full of dreams. Interestingly, the same study found that people who daydream frequently, who let their minds wander during the day, were significantly better at remembering dreams. The brain, it seems, practices a kind of mental flexibility during waking hours that transfers to the sleeping brain. The wandering mind is the dreaming mind. Here's the part most people don't know. Dream recall is a trainable skill. Your brain can get better at saving dreams with very simple changes. First, keep a dream journal. It sounds almost too simple, but it works. The moment you open your eyes, before you move, before you check your phone, speak or write anything you remember. Even a single feeling, a color, a face. Over time, you are building the neural pathways that make dream recall easier. The brain begins to treat dreams as worthy of saving. Second, set an intention before you sleep. Research shows that simply saying to yourself before bed, "Tonight I will remember my dreams," increases the likelihood of recall. It primes your sleeping brain to treat dream content as significant. Third, wake up gently. If you can avoid sharp alarms, try a soft tone, a gradual light alarm, or just letting your body wake naturally on weekends. The slower the transition from sleep to wakefulness, the more time your brain has to hold the dream in the window of short-term memory before it evaporates. Fourth, for 30 seconds after you wake up, don't move. Stay still, eyes closed or open. Don't reach for your phone. Don't sit up. Don't start the day. Just let your brain hold whatever fragments it has. Movement and stimulus accelerate the fade. Stillness preserves what's left. Every single night, your brain writes stories that no one else will ever experience. Stories built from your memories, your fears, your desires, your grief. And most of them vanish forever, erased before you even have the chance to know they existed. But the ones that survive, the ones that stay with you for years, those aren't random. Your brain chose them because they meant something, even if you don't know exactly what. If you want to keep exploring what your brain does while you sleep, subscribe, because the next one gets even stranger.